What's up everyone, it's Visions of Awesome 2010, and today I decided to show you my Tony Hawk game collection as of 2026. Now, a lot of you don't know this or have known this, but I am a huge fan of Tony Hawk games. I've been playing them ever since almost 2 years ago, which was back in March of 2024, and I've just been loving the franchise ever since. So I decided to show you all my Tony Hawk games that I have. I don't got a whole lot, but I have a good amount of games so far. But, I decided, why not, to do this collection video, because I haven't made a game series collection video in like in a while. So yeah, let's just get started. So for the Game Boy Color, I have Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2. Now I would say the Game Boy Color version of this game is alright. It's not as good as the console versions like the Dreamcast version, because the Dreamcast version has like good controls and good graphics, while as this, the PS1 versions and the Nintendo 64 versions of this game, and also the Game Boy Advance version, you can tell that the graphics look different on those versions compared to the Dreamcast version. The PS1, the N64 versions, and the Game Boy Advance versions, they're not too bad, but they're also not too good either. While as this one has like the worst graphics, because it's like all 8-bit is just bleh. But still, this game is still good no matter what system you get it on. So there's that. And then for the Game Boy Advance, and yes, speaking of Game Boy Advance, I have Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3 for the Game Boy Advance. Now, I actually got this recently for $6.95, and I couldn't pass it up because I wanted to own another Tony Hawk's game. And, I have a Game Boy Advance now, so I can finally play Game Boy Advance games on original hardware, which is dope. But yeah, there's that. Not really much to say about the Game Boy Advance version. Now for these ones I'm going to be talking about, I actually have different versions of the same game, which are the PS1 version and the GameCube version. Now with Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3, it came out on a lot of systems. It came out on the PS1, Game Boy Advance, Game Boy Color, Nintendo 64, GameCube, and an Xbox, and so on. Now, here's what I have to say about this, the PS1 version of this game. The game is good. The game is not too bad. It's kind of like Tony Hawk's Pro Skaters 1 and 2 on the PS1, but the problem that I have with the PS1 version and the Game Boy Advance version, yes, I'm mentioning the Game Boy Advance version as well, is the graphics. The graphics don't look too bad on the PS1, and the Game Boy Advanced version, but they're not the best. Nintendo 64 is not that really good either. Those versions graphics are like a heck of a lot better than the Game Boy Color version, because if you play the Game Boy Color version, you can tell that the graphics do not look good. They're like the worst out of the whole systems that came out for Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3. Now, that's all I gotta say about the PS1 version. Well, with this, the PS2 and the Xbox versions, the graphics don't look too bad on the GameCube and what, the PS2 versions and the Xbox versions, those ones don't have like bad graphics compared to the other versions. But I said why not. So yeah, because I just watched gameplay of this game and I said why not. I always thought the graphics looked better on the GameCube version compared to the PS1 version. That's just me. And I just ordered this sucker off of eBay for like pretty cheap. So yeah, there's that. And last but not least is, of course, my most recent Tony Hawk's game that I got is Tony Hawk's Downhill Jam for the Wii. I know this game exists on the Nintendo DS and also the PS2 version, but I just went with the Wii version because I don't really care for the DS version all that much. The DS version is not too bad, but the main problem is just like the graphics and stuff, while the Wii and the PS2 versions don't look too bad. I mean, they're just like a lot better than the DS version of, of that game. But yeah, here's Tony Hawk's Downhill Jam for the Wii. So that is it for my Tony Hawk's game collection as of January 2026. I hope you all enjoyed this video. Be sure to give this video a like, comment down below what you think of this, and subscribe for more videos like this. So yeah, hope you all enjoyed this video, and see you in the next one. Peace out.